We started off with a termination of the border, the people coming in from China, where this all started. That meant I took it very seriously.
Maybe you've been hearing Donald Trump call it the Chinese flu or the Chinese virus over the last few days and wondering, why is he doing that? Well, according to some media outlets, it's simply because, well, he's racist.
It's not racist at all, no, not at all. It comes from China. That's why. It comes from China. I want to be accurate. Yeah, please, John, please. I have great love for all of the people from our country, but as you know, China tried to say at one point, maybe they stopped now, that it was caused by American soldiers. That can't happen. It's not going to happen, not as long as I'm president. It comes from China. John, please.
As you heard Trump say, it's not about racism, it's about being accurate, but there's actually something deeper behind this. It's to push back on Chinese misinformation. Now, anyone that follows global politics wouldn't be shocked to find out that the regime in Beijing would try and push out misinformation, that they would try and obfuscate, that they would try and lie, that they would try and take blame away from themselves over their handling of this. We know that China knew about the coronavirus long before they told the world. We know that they hid this for at least a month before they told the World Health Organization, hey, we've got something here that we can't quite handle by ourselves. So what did they do? They started to put out the idea that this was brought to China, that it was brought to Wuhan specifically by Americans, the American military. You don't have to take my word for it. This isn't a right-wing conspiracy theory out there. This article comes from the New York Times, where they lay out exactly what the regime in Beijing has been pushing through official and unofficial channels, using military officers, state media to say, this is something that was brought to China by the American military. See, back in October, there were military games where countries from around the world sent athletes from their own militaries to compete. Canada sent athletes. I questioned it at the time, not because of the virus, not because of coronavirus. We didn't know a thing about it back then. I questioned it because why were we participating in friendly military games with a country that was detaining our citizens for more than a year at that point, or about a year at that point? But I digress. It's not about that. Trump is calling it the Chinese flu or the Chinese virus to push back and put blame squarely where it lies. And when it comes to the spread of this virus, when it comes to how badly it was handled at the beginning, that it was allowed to jump around the globe before we knew what to do with it, yes, the regime in Beijing holds a good deal of responsibility. Did they eventually clamp down? Did they put in the types of measures that are needed to contain this? Based on the numbers we're seeing of new infections in Wuhan? Yes. But did they do it too late? That is also yes. So Trump is simply pushing back against a regime that has tried to lie, that has tried to obfuscate, that has tried to put blame anywhere but where it belongs, with them. It's not about racism. It's not about being a bigot. It's about making sure that America doesn't take blame for something that did actually start in China.